You're listening to Bit Harmony, a video game music podcast, and I'm Matt.
And I'm Tosh.
Yeah, that's right. It's not Seth. Hey, if you're a regular listener, we've warned you. It's going to be me and my wife, Natascha, today, talking about Infinity Nikki, if you haven't looked at the title of the episode yet. I do that joke too much, I think, if you haven't looked at the title of the episode. But hey, yeah, we're doing Infinity Nikki. This is a long time coming. I feel like Infinity Nikki at this point is probably the game that has been most referenced on Bit Harmony without it getting its own full episode so far. And that's mostly because of you. You've had multiple requests for Infinity Nikki songs over the years at this point. I always get excited when there's a reason to bring you as a guest host on the show. You know, you've done the Yokai Watch episode, you've done the Xenoblade X episode, but it always felt like you were doing me a favor coming on those episodes. Whereas this,
you're doing me a favor.
Yeah, I'm giving you an outlet.
No, I'm doing all the listeners a favor because you probably never really heard of this game, like most of you, but the soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks out there. So yeah. We're doing you a favor.
What a segue, jeez. The soundtrack of Infinity Nikki is amazing. We will play the intro in a second. Before I get into that, I just want to say off the top, Infinity Nikki has a whole bunch of composers. I'm not going to read off the composers this episode. They will be in the song notes individually. Infinity Nikki, what's the developer name? Infold.
Paper Games, Infold/Paper Games.
Yeah, the developers are very, very good about like cataloging and giving credit to the individual composers and everything, which is awesome. However, a lot of them are Chinese and their names are spelled out with Chinese characters that I don't even know how to read or pronounce. So we will not be doing the individual composer credits read aloud this episode. That's just because of that. But they will be in the song notes in general. And the production company that works on Infinity Nikki soundtrack is FoldEcho. So again, check out the song notes, or check out the show notes for all the individual composer information. I'm sure all of you out there are going to do that. Anyway, our intro this episode is Illusions Showtime from Infinity Nikki. And again, Infinity Nikki's soundtrack is produced at FoldEcho, and we will be right back. And that was Illusions Showtime from Infinity Nikki. Again, we've played Infinity Nikki songs on the show before. I think at the best soundtrack of 2024. We had a few, and 2025, actually. Yeah, you had your voicemail in. But we've always played like the more, kind of calm and soothing and even beautiful stuff. We've never gotten down with the Infinity Nikki funk before like this, you know?
Yeah.
Do you remember, what was this from the season with Long Momo? Is that what this was?
I think, yeah, that was that season, yes. But there's so much music, and by now also so many seasons that I don't really remember, like some of the older ones anymore.
Right, so we will talk about this more later on in the episode, but a cool thing about Infinity Nikki, maybe to me, besides the soundtrack, the coolest thing about the game is that it's a free-to-play gacha thing, which I already hear your eyes rolling, but we'll talk about later, but because of that structure, they do major updates to the game like every 4 weeks, so like every month you have a whole bunch of new content, you have a whole new season of stuff. Not only that, but new music. Like every single season has like at least an album's worth of new music in it.
You probably can say that this is the game with the most music in it, or like at least one of the ones that is up there, because I don't know any other game that has that much music.
Well, and that's the thing, right, is, I think this is the game we've dedicated a whole episode to in Bit Harmony that has the most music in it. But I can't think of anything that comes close, which is very intimidating when it came to planning this episode out. And that's why, if you're not aware, we're going to do a Patreon exclusive mini episode on the 2.0 and forward updates. That'll be coming out like next week sometime. But we really, this was honestly the hardest I've struggled with narrowing the song selection down. And then what it kind of came down to was, we wanted to hit as big a variety as possible because there's so much stuff in it.
There is a lot of different genres and types of music in this game also. It's not just all one thing,
Right. Like I said, we've played the more like beautiful and I don't know, like ethereal music on the podcast before, but we never played this funk before. There is a lot more funk, and we will be playing more of the funk later on in the episode, but we're also going to be trying to touch on basically everything. And then another cool thing is that each season is very themed, and so that was from like a dancing oriented season. That's why it's so dancey and whatnot. They've done like kind of I don't know, like ghostly seasons where it's all way more haunting and stuff like that. It's very, very cool, and the soundtrack is, again, truly one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. A big thing with Bit Harmony that I try my hardest, I'm going to say this, I know we just did 2 Mario episodes, but my biggest goal with Bit Harmony, besides just putting out a fun podcast, is, hey, if we're going to do a video game music podcast, I don't want it to all be the same stuff. That's why we've never done a Zelda episode. Like, you can listen to any video game podcast on the internet and hear like an Ocarina of Time episode, but what video game music or even just general video game podcasts out there is going to talk about Infinity Nikki for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
Did you have any specific notes about Illusion's Showtime?
I mean, I like how, like you said, I like how funky it is. And that's about about it, what I have to say. I don't have too many specific notes, probably on most of the songs we're going to play today, but on this one in particular, I did just want to shout out 2 things, I guess. I love at the end, it kind of goes full on like West Coast hip-hoppy with like the synths and stuff, but it's got a little mix of orchestra still in there, which is very fun. And then the other thing is, a running gag with you and I, or just with I think you don't like it, is I say everything sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog music, but this actually does sound like Sonic the Hedgehog music. Okay.
There's at least one other song in this episode that I also think sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog music, but if that's all we've got for Illusion Showtime, then I guess we will quickly get into some general housekeeping. As far as I'm aware, no new reviews or comments, though I kind of forgot to ask Seth to check all the normal sources. Since I'm in Germany, my IP address defaults to Germany, so I can't check all the iTunes reviews easily, like all the different regions and stuff. But as far as I'm aware, no new reviews or comments. As a reminder, like I said before, we are doing a Patreon exclusive Bit Harmony, a mini episode of the show, next week on Infinity Nikki 2.0 and onward. Really looking forward to that one. Honestly, we haven't even recorded this one yet, and I'm already looking forward to doing... If anything, the 2.0 music to me is even better than everything that came before.
It is very different. I like that it never gets boring. Like they have like I said before, they have so many different music genres in here, and then because it fits to the 2.0 content, the music is more like, I don't know, like tribal and traditional, like with drums and stuff. So yeah.
There's even more like kind of vocalizations going on. Yeah, like you said, a lot more percussion, even a lot more like string instruments. I mean, there is a lot of string instrument stuff going on in prior to 2.0, but there's even more of it, I feel like, in 2.0. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. There's also a lot of funk. In fact, the outro of this episode is going to be another fun dancey thing from 2.0 as a tease for the mini. Speaking of minis, I do just want to remind people that for all of March, we were doing a bunch of Mario stuff. We called it March Mario Madness or Mario March I don't remember. We covered Mario 3D World and Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on the main show. And then we had mini episodes on Mario Bros. 3 and the Mario Kart series. And the funny thing is, we called them minis, but those were both like full-length episodes. I think that Mario Kart episode came in just under 2 hours. Insane. The value we provide for just $5 a month. What is wrong with you if you don't give us money? You want to hear more Infinity Nikki stuff? You got to go over to the Patreon and support us to hear the 2.0 episode.
Yeah, remember, we're doing you a favor.
Yeah, we're doing you a favor by letting you listen to the normal Infinity Nikki stuff. But 2.0, you got to pay up. Or go on YouTube, I guess. But then you won't hear, you won't hear our commentary and insights into stuff. Yeah. And then lastly, our final episode of the season is going to be coming out on April 19th. That's on Final Fantasy X. Again, that's our season finale. It is also the 50th full episode of Bit Harmony. Really looking forward to having an excuse to just talk to Seth for 5 hours about Final Fantasy X. That is still, to this day, one of my favorite RPGs. Just one of my favorite games. I haven't revisited it in like 10 years, so it'll be fun to have a reason to deep dive into that. I'll also shout out, normally this is where we would transition into the Sean Capri Presents the State of the Nintendo Music Address. My wife isn't interested in talking about Nintendo Music app drops, which is totally fair. That's about the dorkiest of the dorky video game music stuff there is. So we're going to wait until Seth is back on the Final Fantasy X episode, and we're going to do a double-stuffed Sean Capri Presents the State of the Nintendo Music Address. With that said, not only are we excising the Sean Capri Presents segment of the show this week, we also don't have any voicemails, and the YouTube comments were extremely slim pickings to the point where we decided to just excise all of that. So this is like a pure cut Bit Harmony episode. It is just going to be a bunch of music and us talking about the game and said music. So the normal segments of Bit Harmony will be back next episode. There just wasn't any good YouTube comments, honestly. There were surprisingly... I don't know what it is about the Infinity Nikki community, but there's just a lot less unhinged perverts for some reason.
Yeah, because it's mainly female players.
That was what I was trying to allude to. That it's a game that appeals inherently to women and younger girls, so I guess it makes sense that there would be a lot less deranged comments. With that all out of the way, then let's go on our first full Infinity Nikki music break. We're gonna play "The Call of Joy," "Dancing with Joy," and "By the Lakeside," all from Infinity Nikki, and we will be right back. And that was Call of Joy, Dancing with Joy, and By the Lakeside from Infinity Nikki. Seth and I have this thing. It started on the Castlevania Symphony of the Night episode, where you're a little familiar with Symphony of the Night, right? You've heard me play it a bunch, right? And you know how like crazy that soundtrack goes. You know, it's just like this 2D sprite-based 1997 Metroidvania game, but then it goes absolutely crazy with its instrumentation, and it has all this like Spanish flamenco flair at times, even though you're in like the demonic hell basement of Dracula's castle. Like, it doesn't make sense the pairing the music with that, but that's also what makes it good. Infinity Nikki to me has a bit of that. We call that the why does it sound like this down here vibe. Yeah. And Infinity Nikki kind of has a little bit of that, you know. Because, again, I feel like if you're not aware of Infinity Nikki, and, again, we'll talk about more in depth in a few minutes, but you hear free-to-play gotcha game, dress-up gotcha game, and you're probably thinking to yourself it's going to just have very poppy, like, I don't know, J-pop or K-pop sounding, like, menus and stuff like that, but instead your ass gets blasted with this, like, weirdly sexy song that is Call of Joy with all these, again, these Spanish acoustic guitars and stuff. It's wild.
Also, it plays in an area where there's like cute little, like they're called PCs, and they're like made of cloth of people that died. So like the spirit of these people is still in the fabric and in the clothing from them. And they are super big-eyed and super round, fluffy, cute looking. And yeah, this is where this music is playing. These two songs are also one of my all-time favorite songs of the whole game. There's also more versions of this. Like Nikki always has like just classic like other RPGs, a nighttime and a day version. But then also like there's like dawn versions that are way shorter. That transition into the night versions, and then there's sometimes even 2 night versions and stuff like that. Like
right. There's like a night and like a late night version of it. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how all 3 of these songs, but yes, right now specifically Call of Joy and Dancing with Joy, that they're using similar instruments and they're in the same area, but yeah, they sound so different. Like Call of Joy again to me is like, again, downright like sexy. Like I'm imagining like flamenco dancers or something. Yeah. But then Dancing with Joy is like so peaceful. Like it's so gentle. And again, to me, that's like what I most associate with the Nikki soundtrack. Well, again, the gentle side, but then also the crazy dancey side. Like those are kind of the 3 sides. You got gentle, crazy, and sexy, which I think those are 3 of the Spice Girls, actually. But I found this was such a good combination of songs for this first full break that you really get a full sense now between the intro and this break of just how varied the soundtrack can be and just how different songs can even sound within the same area, you know?
Yeah.
Did you have any other notes on Call of Joy or Dancing with Joy?
I mean, I just think it's funny that like I said, it is playing in that very cute area. Also one of my favorite areas, not just the music. And yeah, this is playing at a place that is called the Handsome Lads Circus. And yeah, I don't know, it's just funny.
Yeah, the game definitely has a sense of humor, but also is very into cute stuff, as you would expect. But then also a lot of the PCs, despite, they basically just look kind of like balloon plushies, kind of. Ghost things. But then a lot of them will have like deep voices and like mustaches and stuff. And
like I said, the spirits are in the clothing of deceased people because something tragic happened in that area where they are.
Like their wishes weren't fulfilled or whatever, right? Wasn't that part of it?
Yeah, so most of them also have like a very sad and tragic background, and there's like stories in that area that are very, very sad. So, but that's also what I like. I like the cuteness, but then you also have like this seriousness and tragic, but also very heartfelt and bittersweet. Like, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, Nikki is it's a powerful game when it comes to its storytelling, like surprisingly so. Before we get into that, though, we need to talk a little bit about By the Lakeside. This was one of my demands for this episode, though you also wanted it, of course. This is from like the beginning of the game, basically. Like it plays when you're, of course, by the lakeside. The first day this game came out, back in December of 2024, and you were playing this, like, we didn't even know what it was fully. Like, you were interested in it, and it's a free-to-play thing, so we're like, yeah, why not? Why not just download it on the PlayStation and try it out? We'd seen trailers. It seemed intriguing. Pretty much right off rip, visually, the game looks fantastic. It's one of the best-looking games I've ever seen, art style and technically. Like, it is a gorgeous-looking game. Even on a base PS5, it looks incredible. It's pretty wild. But then, yeah, you start hearing more and more of this music, and there's all this spoken dialogue with the NPCs. It was already so much more than I was expecting within just the first hour of you playing it. And then we get to this song, which, if I remember correctly, you were running around the world doing stuff, right, collecting the Whim Stars or whatever. And it was night, and then it was starting to be sunrise. And this song was playing while you're running around doing the stuff, and you are genuinely seeing like the sky get more pink and orangish as the sun is rising over this lake, this super peaceful, serene area, and this music is playing. I was full on in tears. Like, I actually had to like look away. I've never really had that reaction to basically any. I mean, I've cried at games before, usually from story moments and stuff, but I don't know that I've ever full-on cried at just, like, the beauty of a game's world and the atmosphere it's conveying. And, like, I think I've played plenty of games that are beautiful, but, like, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, though, I never, like, was caught in awe at the beauty and the artistry of everything before, But, yeah, I just really wanted to shout that out, that this is the song of Infinity Nikki to me. This is still my favorite song in the game. It reminds me of the idea that music is the art form that all other art forms aspire to, because like, how are they able to express this much pure emotion without saying anything? I think that is such a cool idea and concept.
If anyone's interested, there's also on YouTube, there's like a 5 or 10 hour version of this. I was playing that while drawing at some point, and yeah, I'm not getting, like, it's not getting annoying or anything. I'm not getting tired of it because it's just so calm and atmospheric. So that's nice.
It is a really good blend of, it can fade into the background if you let it, but if you want to pay attention to it, there's a lot to chew on musically there. The only other like note I really had about it was around like 135 or so, it starts sounding like a bit Stardew Valley-ish. It starts like some flutes are coming in. I don't know. It reminds you and I just saw the concert, the Stardew Valley concert a couple months ago, and I don't know. It made me think of that. It also made me really think about how much fun it would be to go see an Infinity Nikki concert.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It would be pretty good. But did you have any other notes on these 3 songs then, dear?
No.
Okay, then let's start getting a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of Infinity Nikki as a video game. Infinity Nikki. We are not going to go as in-depth into it as a game as Seth and I sometimes do, like, say, for Mario 3D World or whatever. I will let my wife talk to it as much as she wants about it as a game, but it's a pretty new game, and I think there's not going to be that... The gameplay is not necessarily what you're playing this for, even though there is a lot of good stuff going on. It is very interesting, but this is going to be more of a music-focused episode, but I figured we'd touch a bit on the generalities of it. As we mentioned before, this is a 3D open-world adventure / platformer game released in December of 2024 for PC, PS5, and mobile. But it's also a dress-up game, and it's also a free-to-play gacha game. So it's all these things at once, and then the general setup is you're, of course, playing as Nikki, who gets transported to Mirrorland from like a magic like dresser in her attic or whatever.
Yeah, there's like basically like a portal that opens up in her room, at the closet or inside the closet, and then it's been so long. I think a hand reached out to her and grabbed her, and then she was pulled in. She has this little sidekick buddy. He is her very, very best friend.
Say his name.
Momo. They love each other. They go together through thick and thin. He is following her everywhere. He is basically, I'm joking about it, but they just added combat for Momo. And he's basically her palico, you could say.
Yeah, from Monster Hunter, if you're not aware. The little cat dudes that help you out in Monster Hunter.
So he sees her being pulled into the closet, and he's like, oh my god, what's happening? And he goes after her. He jumps in it with her, and then they end up being in this weird place called Mirrorland, yes.
Yeah. And, I'm glad you're the one that brought up Momo. I, of course, had a note to specifically... Momo is very important to my general enjoyment of this game. He's just this little squat, little dickhead kind of... He's not a dickhead. Well, he kind of is to everyone that isn't Nikki.
Yeah.
But, like, he doesn't look like a dickhead, but he's just this tiny little anthropomorphic cat man. He's got, like, an orange, like, hood on him, but, like, basically nothing else.
Even though he's always saying he's not a cat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's an anthropomorphic cat thing. Like, he's not... He is insistent. He's not a cat. He's part of the Lost Momo clan. We don't know what that means.
Not yet. Yeah, maybe we will.
I'm guessing there will be a season where they get into it.
There was a hint lately that, like, it was a god, like a person, an NPC in the game, and he is apparently a god, or was, because, I mean, I'm reaching out very far, but gods are not here anymore. They left because there was a war going on between the gods, so they left. But yeah, that person was mentioning something about the Momo clan, and Momo was surprised and was like, oh my god, what? Did you know about the Momo clan? But that's all we got so far.
Yeah. We will talk about, like, some of what you think about, like, the story and stuff, but yeah, that should be a nice tease of, like, hey, there's actual lore and, like, pretty in-depth story stuff in this.
I don't know, yeah, I think maybe people are familiar with the term fashion souls. Like, if you know Dark Souls and Elden Ring and whatnot, people are talking about, the fashion in those games.
Like making your cool armor set and making yourself look cool
and
there.
When this game came out, they called it Fashion Souls as a joke because the lore is insanely deep and goes insanely deep, just like in Dark Souls games. And it is a dress-up game, so they made the joke calling it Fashion Souls.
Yeah. It's a genuine, it's a funny bit, but it's also very true. It's not really an exaggeration. The lore gets pretty crazy and genuinely interesting. Again, we are not going to get into it right now at this exact second. It is worth noting this is actually the 5th game in the Nikki series, but you and I don't know basically anything about any of the other ones. They were mobile games, I think, all of them. The only thing I really saw, I watched a video on it in one of the previous Nikki games. Momo is also in all of them, but in one of the previous ones, he was like a straight up jerk to you. Like, he was, when you put together an outfit that was good, he was like, "Oh, maybe you won't die alone then." Like that's insane. Like the Momo that we know in Infinity Nikki would never dare say that to Nikki. And then, as I said, the general structure of the game, it actually is quite a bit like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, really, and with a bit of Mario Odyssey mixed in. Like, you're running around this open world, there are NPCs and villages to discover, or towns, whatever you want to call them. There's quest lines going on, there's side quests going on, there's all kinds of just discoveries to make. I don't know, is there anything you wanted to shout out specifically about that?
I mean, what I like the most and what I imagine, or was always imagining a good, like, open world platforming game is that you just run around exploring, and then all of a sudden there's a platforming level almost like appearing and starting, and that's what Infinity Nikki is doing. Like, all of a sudden you trigger like an event, and then there's like clouds you jump on, and you have jump from cloud to cloud, and the platforms are moving, and yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Yeah,
it's cool how they do a lot of platforming challenges that are, like you're saying, they're kind of ingrained into the world itself, but then you'll also have almost like Breath of the Wild style, like shrine equivalent, where you'll go into this door into another dimension, and then there's puzzles or platforming.
They're very Breath of the Wildish. Like you go in there, and then there's a puzzle you have to solve. Like basically, for people who play Breath of the Wild, like with a ball that needs to go somewhere, you have to put it into a specific place, or with chests you have to move and put on like triggers or platforms and switches and all that stuff.
I don't remember them doing it as much in like later seasons, but I remember in like the 1.0 release there were even like physicsy puzzles, like with platforms that you had to shift around the weight by walking around on them and getting them in the right position and stuff.
Yeah, they always also do that season related. Like if it fits to the season, like the puzzles are also related. To that, like it fits together. Right,
like each season, there are even seasons where it's all platforming and not really puzzle oriented, just because of like the themes they've gone with or what they've decided to do there. And then like I said, there's also a little bit of Mario Odyssey built in, because like you're collecting these Whim stars, and those are obviously like the moon equivalents and whatever. But it's interesting because if you'd asked me, like, do I want an open world 3D Mario game like a couple of years ago before Infinity Nikki, I would have said, sure, I'm curious about it. I'm not saying no, but I wouldn't have been excited about it. Whereas after Infinity Nikki, and again, I want to emphasize, it's not like Infinity Nikki's platforming gets like hard or super, it doesn't require that much out of you. But it's just the way it's integrated into the world that makes me excited about a potential 3D open world Mario game.
And also the dress up part is not just to make your character look nice or for customization, but her dresses are ability outfits. So compare it to like in Mario, like your power ups. So there's a floating outfit, there's a combat outfit, all those things.
It is also worth noting, again, this is a free-to-play gacha thing, and yes, you are pulling for, what do you want to call it, like pieces of each outfit, basically. But any like ability outfits that are required to play the game, progress in the story, and whatever, those you just are given for free. There are like, her combat, in the 1.0, she just like kind of throws air magic, and then there are different versions of that outfit that even do different things sometimes that you can pull for, but they're not required. Again, they give you all the required ability outfits to progress. You can beat the game without engaging, or beat the story rather, without engaging in any of the pulls. Like you don't even, it's not even a matter of like, I have to wait or something. Like there's no cooldown timers on most stuff. There is a little bit when it comes to like the farming and whatever, but you can largely, unless they've changed the balance of things, which I doubt they have, you can just play this as a free-to-play, open world, like gorgeous Zelda / Mario, but with an audience meant for like more younger girls kind of thing. But it doesn't take away from the quality of it. I just wanted to get that out on Front Street. We will talk a little bit more about the free-to-play stuff, but it is worth noting that you don't have to engage with that at all.
Yeah, the game is also very nice about, especially if you start the game as a new player, very nice about giving you the currency with which you pull stuff. So there's, you get a ton of stuff and you can have just some free pulls for yourself, which is nice.
The game is very generous compared to other free-to-play gacha games, at least.
It's a very player-friendly gacha game. That's also what it's known for,
To the point where at times when they've tried to mess with that stuff, like mess with the pity rewards and stuff, like lower the rate of the pity rewards, they get yelled at online to the point where they have to put out apologies and then revert it back, which I think is good. I think it is garbage to mess with like the pity rates and stuff like that.
It even was just like a 5-star. I mean, I don't know how much people know about gacha games, but for example, in Genshin Impact, there is like 3-star, 4-star, 5-star things, and the 5-star stuff is the best, the highest. And a 5-star outfit usually is like 9 or 10 pieces, and they raised it to 11 once, And that already, caused an uproar, and people were super mad. And is this the normal case now? Everything's gonna be 11 pieces because that requires you to pull even more.
Right.
And they never did it again.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that maybe on a separate section of like the times the Infinity Nikki devs have like messed up the game and had to backtrack and apologize, which it hasn't happened that often. It's really only been like 2 or 3 times, and only once was it like literally catastrophic, where like the game was basically broken for weeks at a time. But we'll save that a little bit. But I do just want to emphasize that again, I as someone that has been playing video games as my main hobby for over 30 years. When I hear the words free-to-play gotcha, yes, I have the same reaction that you, the listener, are also probably having. I just want to really stress and underline that like Infinity Nikki is not like Genshin Impact. I've played Genshin Impact, and what made me stop playing is how greedy the game got and how like I wouldn't be able to progress past a certain point unless I was like pumping money into this. You literally can enjoy all of the mainline stuff in Infinity Nikki without actually spending a dime. Again, unless they've changed stuff since we've played, which I don't think they have. But I think it's really remarkable. I think it's very notable, especially for the audience that the game is meant to appeal to and whatnot. I think it's very nice. I think it's very sweet that this game, obviously they want to make money with it, but that it's been done in a pretty fair way overall. Again, there are obviously going to always be people that disagree with that in the hardcore Infinity Nikki community, but from my perspective as like a pretty jaded and grumpy video game nerd, I think Infinity Nikki is pretty fair, and it's pretty cool to just have this free-to-play Zelda and Mario inspired thing that you can just load up for free onto your system and enjoy, you know? Mm-hmm. For this break then, we're going to play Yesterday's Harvest, Golden Fields, and Fields Serenade. And we'll be right back. and that was Yesterday's Harvest, Golden Fields, and Fields Serenade. That was kind of the chill break. That was like just the calm, beautiful break of this episode. Because of that, I don't have too many notes on any of these specifically. For Yesterday's Harvest in particular, I just wanted to shout out that I do remember this being one of the earliest songs in the game where I really remember the acoustic guitar sticking out to me a lot. Like, I don't even have any specific timestamps for it. It's kind of just all littered throughout the entire song. It's just very gorgeous acoustic guitar plucking and whatnot.
And yeah, it's in an area where there's like a huge wheat field. Like, yeah, it was beautiful. I was playing the game, and then the game is just like throwing that on you basically, and I stopped moving in the game. I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. It's just like the Lakeside song. Like, that really genuinely happens like pretty often in Nikki. Like, and the wind is like going through the wheat field, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. And if you happen to be there, at sunset or something, and the sun goes down, and the lighting in the game is also amazing. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Yeah.
Specifically, Yesterday's Harvest really, really felt to me like this belongs in like a Final Fantasy game or something, you know, like that's kind of my big, again, we talked about it at the start of the episode, but like, I love introducing people to new stuff that they haven't heard. So again, Bit Harmony, half my goal is to play you cool shit that you've never heard before. And so, because from my perspective, Infinity Nikki genuinely deserves its soundtrack, at least, to be held on that high of a pedestal of like the Final Fantasies and the Zelda. This is way better than any Zelda soundtrack. It's like, sorry, it just is. Yeah, it is. That's just so much more valuable for me to be able to bring my wife on and shout out how cool the soundtrack is for something that you've never played. But I guess a lot of people are just like nostalgia hogs when it comes to video games, so they just want to hear Ocarina of Time again or whatever. But
that's also my main goal with this, that I wanted to do an Infinity Nikki podcast. I don't want you necessarily to convince you to play this game, but you should know about this music if you're interested in music in general, also not just video game music, because this doesn't sound very video gamey. Right. Like, there are some songs in this game that sound a little bit more video gamey, but overall, like, these are just amazing songs, like, in general.
Yeah. It is worth noting, Infinity Nikki's official YouTube channel and Spotify account, they upload, I'd say, like 90% plus of like every season soundtrack. I think the only thing I know for sure is missing are the Stardew Valley rearrangements that they did last year. But if you like this and you want to listen to more, just hop on Spotify or YouTube and you can listen to the official uploads of these soundtracks. Like, we are literally playing like we're not even playing one season's worth of music, not even close. And there's like 13 or 14 seasons worth of music that they upload officially, you know?
What I also really like, and what also shows that, this game is a lot about creativity and art. Like, they have album covers for all the seasons, and that's where like all the music is under, and the covers are super cool and beautiful.
Yeah, genuinely, I really like. It's a joy to look at some of them. I really love the I think it's the album art just for the original the 1.0 release where she's riding on a bicycle like in the sky or whatever. It just looks awesome. It looks like something I would have seen in the 90s at like a record store or something, you know? It's just great. Like, you can tell that like music is super important to the people that make this game, or someone higher up in charge, you know, because like there is I really can't emphasize, we're gonna keep saying this, there is so much music, all of this quality level in this game, it's absurd.
Yeah. And not just music, also, the art. I feel like they have a lot of different artists working on this, because there's so many different styles that they sometimes have in teaser trailers and stuff, or in the game itself also. And when you go onto the Infold website, it's also saying, I forget what exactly the wording was, but creativity above all. So that's their motto. And That's pretty cool. If they really are like doing it, and I mean, yeah, obviously behind the scenes, I don't know how the conditions or anything. If anyone that's listening has like insight, they're like shitty like everyone else. But I just mean if you like hear this, it just sounds very nice and good because yeah, I'm a creative person also, and I really like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to, of course, we are not going to make claims of working conditions anywhere, or of course, but regardless of anything, there is clearly the people in charge and the people making creative decisions in this game have like pure joy in their damn hearts, because like I rarely feel like this. Just I've never, I don't even play Infinity Nikki myself. I just watch you play, and it still gives me a lot of joy. The days when a new season trailer is up, I can't wait for you to get up so we can watch it and stuff. Like, and yeah, you're right. I don't even think about that necessarily, but yeah, even the trailers for this game are very like anachronistic. Like they have such different styles in just the trailers season to season. Yeah, like there was a season last year, the Donqing season, that was very. It's China. I forget the Chinese equivalent of, but it's like calligraphy and stuff, very inky and whatever. That season was completely different from everything before and after in terms of like its tone, its story, but even like the art style and the music was so different from everything. It is just super cool.
That's also a cool thing because yeah, this is a Chinese company, a Chinese developer, and whenever I mean you see the difference a little when they do like Chinese seasons, like they really go out of the way to, I feel like, to put even more effort into that. Not just for their own sakes, I think, because they're always trying to teach things about Chinese traditions and stuff, and they do it with the side quests. And like Nikki is like, I mean, I think canonically Nikki's Chinese.
Yeah, I think so.
But still, she's like more like an outsider, and things are explained to her, and it's very interesting. And I like that you just learn stuff about culture, about in this case, Chinese culture.
In one of the most recent seasons, there was a hot pot restaurant mini game where you cooked your own hot pot stuff, and then if you burnt the food, you could give it to Momo and he would just take care of it. He's a garbage disposal.
Yeah, it's very cute. You could just hand it off to him and then he's taking it and
But yeah, they did genuinely like talk about hot pot and even like about the process of hot pot in a way that, I wouldn't have expected. Like, the only other game series that I see do stuff like that is Yakuza, the way they get, like, real into the weeds about just random cultural stuff.
How it's about family and sitting together and eating together, and
With that said, then, let's get on our next break real quick. We've got Guess the Perfume's Final Note, One Pump of Foundation, One Pump of Joy, and Dance Underneath the Night Sky, all from Infinity Nikki, and we will be right back. And that was Guess the Perfume's Final Note. Ends with an exclamation mark, that name, which I like. And then One Pump of Foundation, One Pump of Joy, and Dance Underneath the Night Sky. So before we get into Dance Underneath the Night Sky, we'll talk about Guess the Perfumer's Final Note and One Pump of Foundation kind of as a pair, because these play in this makeup factory. What was the name of it?
The beauty
beauty salon, I think.
Yeah.
Temis, is that what the character's name was?
Timmins. Yeah, she's running it and making makeup or inventing new makeup. Yes.
So it's this like giant kind of magical factory where they're producing a bunch of makeup, and the hazards of this like platforming segment are like factory stuff as it's making this makeup. Like there's like these conveyor belts with like these giant like what do you call these, like air presses, like these heavy lifting press things coming down. They're like putting like compacting makeup basically. And worth noting in this section, you're mostly playing as Momo. You get the ability at some point, Nikki shrinks and then rides on Momo's head, and then you, the player, are controlling Momo. So basically, yeah, these two songs, they're just playing in different sections of this like longer platforming segment in like the late base Infinity Nikki game.
And again, when I got there and we got in there, I just stopped. Yeah. And we were like, what is this?
Not only that, but it was like at multiple sections. Yeah. Again, it's like, hold on, wait, before you go on.
Another thing that's insane about this game, like we talked about how much music there already is in here, but then dungeon sections, like different sections inside one like level dungeon also has different music. Like it's crazy.
It's genuine. It is wild. I know we keep talking about it, but there are like 3 or 4 songs for each section of this factory. We didn't even play all of them, and they're all super good. But these are just my 2 favorite, especially Guess the Perfumer's Final Note. I went crazy the first time I heard that song.
We were trying to find it on YouTube, and there wasn't anything at the time because the game was still pretty new.
Okay.
Where did you find it?
I think eventually I found it because this was before they were officially uploading stuff, I think. Because it was within the first like month of the game being up, and they weren't doing that yet. A thing that drives me crazy as a video game music podcast host and just a video game music enjoyer in general is that the Infinity Nikki community is, like when the Mario Kart World soundtrack dropped and changed all of our lives, people were ripping that immediately. Like there was no waiting for that to happen. Yeah. Infinity Nikki's community, I don't know if they're just not as like tech savvy or whatever, or they're not the kind of people that are like, I love this music so much I'm going to like rip it myself. I've had to rip multiple of these, again, not so much nowadays because of the fact that they uploaded it officially now, but when the Stardew Valley collaboration happened last year, I just wanted to hear the damn music. I was so excited to hear the different arrangements, and we had to like wait a day to get each new one or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I kept searching YouTube while we were waiting. I'm like, please, someone has to have uploaded these. Please. No one ever did. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one that's uploaded any of the Infinity Nikki Stardew Valley rearrangements. And that's crazy. Because, like, and that's, again, to kind of emphasize that Infinity Nikki just doesn't have the same, like, gamer clout, despite its high quality and despite how good the music is. It hasn't penetrated, like, into the wider like music sphere on YouTube and whatnot. Does that make sense? Like when people are making video game music playlists, like, oh, this is my summer video game music playlist, Infinity Nikki should be on everyone's now with at least a few songs, but you don't hear it because I just think because of what type of game it is that it hasn't had that penetration into the gamer sphere. But obviously Infinity Nikki makes a bunch of money. They seem very pleased with it, and yeah, the audience seems huge. It's just, it's interesting that it's such a different audience than I'm used to dealing with, Mm-hmm. And again, why I think it makes for such a good Bit Harmony episode, besides the fact that it's just fun to do this with you sometimes. But I don't know, did you want to add anything about either of the Makeup Factory songs?
I think I said everything.
Okay. Yeah, I think I basically said everything too. The one thing I'll note on One Pump of Foundation, One Pump of Joy is that This is going to be a reference that I don't think makes sense to you because I don't think this aired in Germany, but there was this game show in America that aired on Nickelodeon called Legends of the Hidden Temple, and there's like this big Olmec head, like animatronic, and its mouth would move, and he would issue challenges to these kids, like they're having to do physical challenges, like swing on ropes and do all this stuff. Anyway, I feel like we bring up Legends of the Hidden Temple like every like 10 episodes or so, but this song with like the do-do-do-do-doos, like it reminds me. On a break, I'll play you the Legends of the Hidden Temple theme song. You'll hear what I'm talking about. We then have to talk about Dance Underneath the Night Sky, or Strike a Pose, as you and I referred to it as for like a year. I mean, do you want to tell me about it? Like, since this is such a gameplay-heavy thing.
Yeah, so they added that rather late, I feel like, in the Bubble season. And it's playing in a room where there's a catwalk, because this is a dress-up game, and people are combining their own like clothes and creating their own outfits with mixing things together. They added this catwalk where people can just show off what they did with the outfits. And yeah, this is where this music is playing. And yeah, this song is insane. Like the first time this is the song that I was trying to find, and yeah, we also couldn't find it at the time because yeah, it was new, and yeah, like you said, no one uploaded it, and also they didn't. Yeah, it's super cool. I love it, and it's also it captures the vibe very well of these fashion shows. You know, these hoity-toity fashion shows, and it's also it sounds very sexy again, and yeah.
Oh, it's funny because we also just randomly ended up watching Zoolander the other day. We weren't even planning on it, but we just ended up sitting down with breakfast and watching Zoolander. Great way to spend like a Sunday morning or whatever day of the week that was. Yeah, it's funny how much this really does capture the vibe of a fashion show. I've never even been to a fashion show or like watched basically anything beyond like clips here and there of weird stuff going on, but they nailed it. Like it, and once again, it's so different than anything else in the game. There's no other song in all of Infinity Nikki that sounds like this because it's going for a fashion runway show vibe. Yeah. And yeah, that's so cool. It's interesting because when they added this, the idea is like they would give you like a theme, and then you're supposed to base your outfit around a theme, right?
What we didn't mention is that the outfits and the pieces of it, like they have different themes. There's elegant, sexy or attractive, fresh, cool, and stuff like that. And that's like a gameplay feature throughout the whole game. Like you have to have like challenges, like dress-up challenges where it has to fit a certain theme. There's also themes under that, like secondary ones, like fairy, forest, stuff like that. And yeah, in this room where the catwalk is, you go to like a little counter, and there's what is it? I think it's a PC standing there, and you talk to him. And then he's saying, yeah, the theme for this week is elegant or whatever. And then you construct an outfit, you combine an outfit, and then you go into a queue, actually, depending on how busy it is, because that area is a multiplayer area also. So there's other people around you. And then, yeah, there's like a countdown until it's like your turn on the catwalk. And then, yeah, you go out there. And then you get rewards. I mean, it's not very, like, the stakes are not very high or whatever. Right. You will get your rewards. It's more about, like, the fun and the interaction with the other players.
Right, so even though they give you a theme, you don't have to bother with it at all. You can just do whatever the hell you want.
So, yeah.
Well, no. I remember, like, when you went there, we'll talk about this in a second, this story I want you to retell of an experience you had on the runway. But, like, I don't think when you did that, you were adhering to any theme at all. You just wanted to show off your outfit. I
think that they give you a theme is more for you to have something, you can think, like, if you need a creative input or whatever, That's
exactly
what it's mainly for. Yeah.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, the game, it's not like the game's like, hey, you can't do that. No, you're not. You don't have an elegant theme. Like, no, it's just, it is a suggestion of, like, hey, if you don't have any ideas, like, and again, there might be outfit pieces that in your head you view as elegant or sexy, but they aren't listed as that.
Yeah.
you can still just combine it with what you want.
At least here, yes. Like what I said about the other gameplay feature with the challenges, there you have to. It has to be that theme. But
it doesn't have to, but it will lower your score inherently.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Those are actual challenges where you have to get a certain amount of score. But yeah, the runway where this song plays is like purely like a for fun goof off. Again, multiplayer. This is introduced pretty soon after they introduced multiplayer at all, because there was no multiplayer when the game launched. That was 1.5? Was that when that happened? Which that was also the infamous season where everything was broken and you couldn't log in for weeks. We had to make like a fake PlayStation account to get things fixed. It was a disaster. We thought it was the end of Infinity Nikki as we knew it at that point. So yeah, they added a whole bunch of multiplayer stuff, which is it's already inherently very cute, right? Like, because again, Infinity Nikki is generally pretty low stakes. Again, the story can get pretty dramatic at times, but the game is rarely asking anything like too heavy of you, too skill based of you, or whatever. And that carries into the multiplayer also of like. It's mostly just there to have cute interactions. Like, you can do multiplayer-specific emotes that you can only do with other players, like hold hands with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then you can run around with them. Right. The one who initiates the holding hand is like, you have to accept, and then they grab your hand, and then they just run around, and your character just follows. So you basically just sit here and watch.
Mm-hmm. There's also, like, they added that season... specific like platforming / puzzle challenges that are meant to be done with multiple people and stuff. So like they do have stuff that they intend you to do in the multiplayer, but mostly it's just kind of there to be cute. I mean, it also ties into the storyline, which we won't get into right here, I don't think, of like there are Infinity Nikkis out there, and it's a multiverse of Nikkis, and in the Sea of Stars area, you can interact with one another through the cosmos.
That's why I also mentioned the Dark Souls thing, because they also take their lore very seriously, and everything has to make sense. And the multiplayer actually is. Makes sense and is in the lore, because there's infinite Nikkis out there in space that is revealed to you that she has been here before, like infinitely, and those are all the other players that you see. Yes. Right.
That even ties into the story of like setting up 2.0. Well, whatever. We don't need to get into that right now. Anyway, the whole reason we besides the fact that the Dance Underneath the Night Sky song is so good, that's why I wanted to play it. But also, my favorite thing that I've ever seen in Infinity Nikki was when you decided one night to go on the runway and you showed off a Sailor Moon outfit that you had made, right?
So they added like this twin pigtail hairstyle, and you can also dye all your outfit pieces in the game. So I made that in blonde, and then I added, I don't know how many people know Sailor Moon, but it's basically blue,
I feel red. Like pretty much everyone knows Sailor Moon.
A red ribbon and red boots. So I dyed everything, and it looked pretty cool, if I say so myself. It looked. And then I went on the runway, and then someone saw that, because there were other players at the time watching. And then to interact with each other, you have to accept, what is it called? Illumination or something. Like, you get like a notification in your game, and you have to hit triangle, like on PlayStation. And then because you only see like this weird glowy spirit Nikki at first,
kind of like a translucent like blue Nikki.
And then when you accept a request, hey, I want to put you into my game directly, then like there's like a reveal, and then you see the actual model of that person, and then she was talking to me, was like, oh, your outfit is so beautiful, it's so pretty. And then she requested like an emote. There's so many emotes also in this game, and interactions, like you mentioned with the holding hands. Like, there's dozens of interactions with other Nikkis. And then she did one that is tied to an outfit where you like, she has wings with that outfit, and you like fly around, like you hold the other Nikki in your arms, like very elegantly. It almost looks like they're dancing. And she was doing that with me and floating around in that room and was taking screenshots. And
right, like she was going into the photo mode to get screenshots of her doing this.
And she seemed so excited about that. And then we talked for a little while. And then, she friend requested me, and it was just very, very wholesome and cute. And that's also my overall experience. And with the Nikki community in general, they're all very sweet, all very polite, and very helpful. It's very nice.
Yeah, we kind of danced around it a little bit before, but because of this game's audience, because it's a dress-up game that's inherently immediately like dudes like me are not gonna largely be as interested in it, right? So Nikki is kind of Nikki is kind of fits into the Barbie mold, right? Of like it's meant for young girls, very very clearly. That's due to like its dress up and its theming and the characters and stuff. But I don't mean that to be dismissive. Quite the opposite. I think that's one of the things that I find most beautiful about Infinity Nikki is just how much it wants to celebrate femininity and how many outlets it gives you to celebrate creativity and the feminine side of you and stuff like that. And every interaction I've seen you have, because like you've talked to multiple people on this game. Like you have Infinity Nikki like friends in the game.
There's like a friends list. They also just to mention that real quick, they also added like housing, and you can decorate your own house and build stuff. It's like very in depth. Actually, you can do insane stuff with it. And you have your friends list, and then you can visit each other, and you can. That's kind of like a little bit like Animal Crossing. There's a meteor that falls down sometimes, like it's a random event. And then, we write each other in the friends list, hey, a meteor fell. And then you come there real quick and pick up like a meteorite piece, because that's also for an item to craft and stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
And I don't see stuff like that on the internet anymore. Like it genuinely reminds me of the internet from like 20 to even 30 years ago, the way, but with modern technology, right? Like it's so much easier to communicate in game in Nikki than it was when I was playing online games in like 1999, right?
It genuinely reminded me of older gaming times, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like there is a sense of community, and there's like a sense of not exactly friendship inherently, but like we're all playing the same game and enjoying the same thing. Like, shouldn't we be kind to each other, kind of thing?
And very much so. Like they're like all the people I've talked to in this game, they were so nice. They like when they were coming to my island, looking at my house, they were like, "Oh, this like you're so talented. This is so beautiful, and have a super nice day. I enjoyed so much talking to you." Like that is basically all the conversations I'm having, and I'm surprised because I'm not really used to that anymore.
Yeah. Even doing this podcast, I don't often get interactions like that pleasant. Certainly not to like any super frequent thing on the internet anymore, right? Any kind of like significant frequency. So that's been my favorite things, like with watching you play Infinity Nikki, even more than the music, even more than how beautiful the game looks, how much fun it is. Like you will just get on some nights, and I'm gonna get on Infinity Nikki, and I'm gonna spend like an hour and a half just making a new outfit, and that's like what I'm doing that night. Like I think that is so neat, even though it's not like something that I'm inherently interested in. But more than all of that, it's truly been seeing the way the player base reacts to things, and seeing how you react to things and how you interact with other people and players and whatnot. That's been like the biggest joy of the game for me.
There's also this color lookbook where people can upload their outfit creations, and it's a lot of fun to look at, and you can like those and follow people. And a lot of people are doing like cosplays. Like we said, I did that Sailor Moon one, and there's now, they also added very recently a hairstyle that looks even more like Sailor Moon. And obviously they do these things on purpose. They know what they're doing. They see that people are trying to recreate these other video game characters. So yeah, obviously they would, okay, hey, what if we give them something that looks almost exactly like that? And yeah, there's like Final Fantasy characters. There's a Nier, like 2B, they made 2B, and a lot of Snow Whites and Hermione and
a lot of Elsas and stuff.
Miku, a lot of Mikus. There's a Fern from Freerun, and yeah, it's very cool what people are doing with the outfits, and to the degree where you can immediately be, oh yeah, that's her. I know that character.
I mean, yeah, at this point, the game has been around for getting close to a year and a half, and again, they update it every month, basically, with huge new thing, like a huge amount of new stuff that applies to not just, like, the gameplay in the world, but also, yeah, every season, there's new outfits to pull for, but also new free outfits that you can get and stuff. So, like, all of these pieces you can use individually, all these outfit pieces and stuff to combine with other stuff and make new things. And yeah, you can dye stuff now that wasn't in originally and stuff. So it is like a truly infinite amount of like creativity for dress up. And then yeah, like you said, they added the housing update, which is super it's a powerful creativity tool. Like maybe the most powerful like building creation system I've ever seen in a game, but also with that comes like really cumbersome UI and controls and stuff. I remember it took you like a good week to wrap your head around how do I even do basic things.
The problem is it's probably harder with a controller. Right. The people that play on PC probably have it a lot easier with most of these kind of games, I think, the way you build stuff. But also, yeah, the problem was, and I was never really playing a game. I play a lot of decorating games or simulators like that. But I never played one where you can like turn the collision of objects off. And I wasn't used to that. And also, I think it was a little glitchy or buggy. Like, it was very hard to place things. But also, yeah, the fact that you can turn collision off and that you can merge, like, you can force objects into each other, the ideas, the things you can do are infinite. And again, they're, like, using that Infinity Nikki theme of endless creativity to do just whatever you feel like. Yeah.
We've seen some truly wild home islands that people have done. That
someone did like from Tangled.
I was going to bring up that Tangled
including
one.
Like the cave where you go through with the leaves and vines in front of it, and then you go in there and you see the Rapunzel tower and even the room where she paints, and yeah, it's amazing.
Even if you find yourself not interested in playing Infinity Nikki, listening to the soundtrack and even like watching people stream it or watching videos of it and stuff, it's worth it just to see the stuff that people get up to with all this. With that said, let's go on our next break. We still got a couple more breaks yet. For this next one, we're playing Ghosts at Play, The Curtain Call, and Touched by a Breeze from Infinity Nikki. And again, that was Ghosts at Play, The Curtain Call, and Touched by a Breeze. Ghosts at Play, that was one of my demands for this episode. The bass is just wild. You've also said the same thing. You love like having a song occasionally where like the bass is the main focus of it.
Yeah, in general, I like music where I'm a big fan. I don't know if anyone knows this group, The Pillows. They're a Japanese like punk rock pop band, and they do a lot of stuff with bass. And yeah, I always love songs where the bass is like the main instrument. Like it's just cool.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker for like just anything like funky. When it's got that funky bass, I'm pretty into it. Though it's also worth noting, and it makes sense with the name Ghosts at Play. This has a bit of that Yokai Watch flavor to it, which is very funny given the first episode of the show you were on was the Yokai Watch series overview. Like a year and a half ago.
A spooky area, yeah. Now everything spooky just kind of sounds like Yokai Watch.
Well, okay. I mean, yes, but also this actually does have some of the Yokai Watch sound. Like for one, it's got that theremin, which that is automatically associated with all kind of like otherworldly stuff and whatever. But because Yokai Watch also had a very funky soundtrack, it had a lot of bass focus combined with theremin and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's funny. I don't know. Did I ever tell you this? We're ranked as a podcast as like the 36th most well-known yokai podcast. Ooh, okay. So the more time that we get to keep saying yokai on this episode, maybe we'll rise further up the rank of the yokai listings there.
Watch that Yokai Watch episode.
Yeah.
Listen to, I mean.
It's a great episode. I think it's one of the most underrated episodes of the show because like that was another one where like Seth and I never would have done that episode on our own, you know. Same thing with Infinity Nikki, because Seth and I aren't experts on these things, so that's such a benefit of having other people come on once in a while, you know. I love that about the show, and like the different hosts have different expertise in things, right? But for Ghost at Play, the only other note I really had is, god damn, that flute at 123 that the song outro's on, insane. That's just maybe the coolest like section of any song in the soundtrack.
And again, you start with that bass and you already are like, when I was in that dungeon having to like focus and get through that ghost train parkour, I would call it. And then the flute starts, and again I was like, I'm
trying to remember. This was you're playing on like or platforming on like a moving train, right? You're trying to get like up the train while ghosts are like shooting at you and stuff. Is that?
Yeah, and they're like jumping out, trying to jump scare you, and are in your way, and yeah.
Yeah, I really like. Again, that was like a PC oriented season because of like all the ghostly stuff going on. I like you said, the PCs are definitely my favorite, like race, quote unquote, in Infinity Nikki. They have the best storylines, and they're very cute, and I think my favorite inside joke that you and I have ever had, because all the PCs have these like names, like they're named after what article of clothing they're from, but then also just like a normal name or whatever. And then you and I had the joke of like, you know, we were talking about the baby shoes like never worn that like go up for sale on eBay or whatever, like implying like a dead child or whatever. And then we were talking about Babyshoes McGee.
But that's basically what they do with the names.
Babyshoes McGee. That is one of my favorite bits we've ever had. For the curtain call, I don't really have any other notes here. I do want to say, the way Seth and I usually do this show, because we're remote, we're just, you know, we're chatting with each other over the internet across thousands of miles of distance. We listen to the songs separately on our own and then make notes like before we record the podcast, right? Yeah. But because you and I live together, the way we do it is we'll record a section of the podcast, then when we go on the break, we actually do stop and listen to the music. Just because it's easier that way than the way Seth and I do it. It just, I say all that just to say that the main note I wrote down while we were listening to this is that you just said, "Oh man," while we were listening to the curtain call.
Yeah, like the guitar and yeah, I also said that during the break. It's just so cool that it's just a person with a guitar. I mean, that sounds kind of weird or obvious or whatever, but still, like the song is so good, but it's just someone playing their guitar. It's so good.
Like, how often... I know what you mean. Like, it does sound like an obvious statement, but it doesn't mean it's not true. Like, how often when you're playing a video game do you hear music like that? Like, even if it's just an acoustic guitar, you know?
I feel like they are really going out of their way to have, like, handmade sounding music in this game. Like, a lot, yeah. And I like that.
Yeah, they're one of the composers, because again, on each upload on YouTube and Spotify, they do list the individual composers, and then what we noticed is that usually when it's like very acoustic instrument focused, especially acoustic guitar, it's usually a dude that just goes by, is it Bob? It's just literally Bob.
I don't know if that's true, but we just saw that somewhere, right?
No, it's literally by the official Infinity Nikki on Spotify. You can see the composer listed on each song.
Maybe even, you know, how in China, because their names can be complicated to pronounce.
Yeah.
Maybe it even, you know, like like Jackie Chan, you know, that you get Bob.
Right.
It's just
No, that's totally how I took it. It's like their the English name that they've chosen to represent themselves with. Yeah, that's definitely how I took it. But it would be funny if it was just some random dude named Bob that's just doing this.
Now every single time we hear like an acoustic guitar, was that Bob at it again?
Yeah, I think the exact line was like, "Damn, Bob's at it again." Yeah.
He's good. If that is all, I mean, I doubt it's all him, but he's very good.
Oftentimes, because the fact that you can cross-reference easily, it's like the only video game soundtrack we've ever covered where it's very easy to cross-reference this information. If it's a very acoustic-oriented song, Bob's name is attached to it more often than not. So he must be the acoustic guy over there, I guess. Did you have any other notes you had for any of these songs?
No.
Let's go on that last break then real quick. We've got Cloud Sea of Entwined Paths. That's a great damn title for a song. Speaking of great titles, we got Choo Choo the Whistle Blows, and then Time Goes On. All from Infinity Nikki, and we'll be back to close out the show. And that was Cloud Sea of Entwined Paths. Choo choo, the whistle blows. And time goes on. Cloud Sea, I'm not going to read the whole title every time. This was another demand for me. We actually almost opened the episode with this before I decided we should go with more of an energetic vibe for the opening or whatever, but this is I mean, I feel like I've said this about half the songs on this episode, but this is one of my favorite songs from Infinity Nikki. It feels like it's a really good, like, alt indie song from the mid-2000s. It feels like Natalie Portman would have been listening to this in Garden State, you know?
Yeah, that was like the title screen song for the 1.5 update, which was a bigger update. Yeah, they added multiplayer, and then we mentioned it where the disaster happened. Nothing was really working anymore. And, that's also why this song is giving me a little bit of PTSD, because I was stuck on this title screen. I mean, I enjoyed the music, but just nothing. I couldn't log in at all. And
literally, you could not log in. Like, the buttons wouldn't work. It was a mess. It was a bad time to be an Infinity Nikki fan at that point. Yeah. Did you have any other notes for it? That's all I really had.
Well, I really like later in the song, there's like this Chinese guitar instrument. I don't know what the name is, but the Japanese equivalent is like a shamisen. And I really like when they combine like modern music with like very old traditional instruments. I always think that's super cool, and that's also one of my favorite things in that song. Like I said, in the end or in the last half of the song, when it like ramps up a little, like
I love that stuff too. I love, especially when you combine like very, very traditional like Asian instruments with like, we've also got some like modern synth and stuff in here. I think is a very fun idea.
And that's also the benefit of when it's like a more, like, it's not a Western developer or studio or people in general, because they add so much other cultural things into it. Like, I like that, because you not always get to hear that, you know.
Right. I didn't know what a shamisen was until we did the Super Monkey Ball episode of this show 2 years ago. I mean, I could point it out to you, but I wouldn't have known what the name of the instrument was, is what I mean. But that's also cool just to like learn that kind of stuff. We've had listeners like submit things, like we learned what a friction drum is and stuff because of listeners of the show. And so I love finding out new information like that. And you're right, it is such a benefit of like, I don't play many things made from China, not because I'm not interested, but just because most of the games, like, I don't care about like Black Myth Wukong and stuff like that, even though I don't have any issue with it. I just don't have much interest. But it is cool getting that perspective on things and just hearing new things like that. For Choo Choo, the Whistle Blows, this is my final demand of the episode. I love the song. I could listen to it basically all day. In fact, I basically did listen to this all day for multiple days when the season was going on that took place in this area, because you were here all the time. I think I even requested that you go here to edit an outfit that you were making so I could hear the song while you were editing an outfit or whatever. But I just love it. It's such a joyous little ditty, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add about it?
No.
Okay. I mean, I don't have many notes for it either. I just really, really like this one a lot. And again, it takes place in it's the same area as the ghost train was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where there's a big abandoned train station, and that's where all the choo-choo train stuff is happening. Yeah.
And then time goes on. This is surprisingly not a Bob piece. We looked it up on the break. It is not Bob. This is from Iris Zhao. I have like almost no notes on this one. It's just a very beautiful song, and I figured it was like a nice cool down after like this whole episode to, besides the outro, kind of take us out on this. You know, it was nice. Also, it is another one that I really associate with Infinity Nikki as a game, and not just as a soundtrack, but as a whole game. You know.
Yeah. I like it a lot too. Yes, it has a very sad tone, almost like a defeat. It sounds defeated, and But yeah, it's very beautiful too.
It's another one that reminds me of Secret of Mana. Like, it kind of has just like a melancholy feel to it. It's like after something bad has happened, but we've had some distance. It's like I'm still sad about something like a month later. That's the kind of vibe.
Sitting there thinking, deep in thought.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm still stuck in this mental mire kind of thing, even though I'm not in there anymore.
And then Momo puts his little paw on your knee, like, it's gonna be fine.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about Infinity Nikki? Now, I'm sure when we're done recording, you're like, oh, damn, I forgot to say this. But right now that you can think of, is there anything that you wanted to just, like, end the episode on? Any kind of final message out there besides that, you know, if the devs want to send you some diamonds or if they want to send me a hat?
Sponsor me, yeah, please. Yeah, I don't know. This, I was never playing, at least, especially not to this degree, like a free-to-play, let alone a gacha game. But yeah, I gave this a chance because, yeah, we saw the trailer, I think on a PlayStation Presents thing?
I think it was at either Summer Game Fest or the Game Awards. Yeah.
Something like that. And we were like, what the hell is that? Like, we were very, like, skeptical almost.
I remember when I don't remember what was in the trailer, but I remember you and I both were like, what? Okay, what is this? But then right after we found out it's like some kind of free-to-play gacha thing.
Okay,
yeah.
so
and then we kind of dismissed it.
But then as the release came closer and I saw other people playing like an early access thing that was only for a weekend or something, I think.
I think that was like how the press and like content creators were able to play the game before release. Like, they got to play like an early version of it.
And then it just looked so beautiful. Like, yeah, it just captured my interest and I was fascinated by what I was seeing. And I was like, okay, it's free to play. Like you said earlier, let's just download it and see. And yeah, from that moment onward, like, I was so how to describe it?
I would say enamored,
enchanted by the whole thing. And then also then while playing it, I found out, okay, the gacha system doesn't seem too predatory. It seems okay. Also, what I want to mention, if anyone is interested in actually playing this after listening to this, if you do spend money, you are guaranteed to get something. It's not like, I mean, I don't know if Genshin, we always mention Genshin Impact because it's the biggest gacha thing out there right now, I guess. If they changed anything or something, like, you spent money and you might not even get anything, like nothing. Or that, like, the most insane thing to me is that Pokemon Cafe game on the Switch. I don't know if it's also a mobile.
It is.
Yeah. You don't get anything. Nothing. And with Infinity Nikki, if you spend like 20, 30 or whatever, and also every season you get free pulls from doing quests, and you get diamonds and the crystals that you need to pull, you get stuff. Like, it's even like just on the banner, it's telling you every 20 pulls there's a 4-star or higher outfit piece that you're getting. And if you keep playing and spend a little bit of money, you are guaranteed to get what you want. You know, it's not like, oh, maybe we'll see, maybe if you're lucky, you're gonna, like, no, you get something for your money. And that's like, that was the most important thing to me. I was like, okay, this is fair. This is at least fair.
Yeah, it's basically, you just have to put a certain amount of diamonds into it.
Yeah.
Into a certain amount of pulls, you are guaranteed to get it within a certain amount. Yeah.
And if you also stop pulling for, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons and you save up, you will have enough to get a full 5-star piece for free, basically. If you just, contain yourself, I guess, and not want, oh, I want this, I also want this. If you, like, more directly, like, specialize on something that, okay, this looks good, I only want to pull for this one, you're gonna get it with not insane amounts of money that you have to, or like I said, even just save up for like 3 seasons and then you just get it for free.
When the game first came out and we were first introduced to it, the biggest side eye I was given it is that there were these outfits that you could just like buy straight up for money, because that's not even how most of the game works. Like, you have to buy like diamonds and then convert them into crystals to then pull or whatever. But this was like straight up, hey, you can spend like $60 and you'll get this dress.
Yes.
That I was when we talked about this in the best soundtrack of 2024, that was my big hesitation. I didn't want to fully recommend the game at the time because of that. However, they've never done anything with that since.
Yeah, they didn't do that again. It's like way lower the amount of money you have to spend for an outfit. But yes, there is also like stuff where you can spend like up to $100 for something.
But that's specifically like the crystals or whatever, right?
Yes.
It's not spending $60 for one outfit anymore. That's specifically what I mean.
You get those crystals, and those you can convert into diamonds, and the diamonds you convert into the crystals that you need to pull. But I never did that. You don't have to do that at all.
Yeah. That's always what
And also, I have like a bunch of the 5-star banner outfits, and I never paid like. I mean,
you've bought like season passes and stuff.
At a total amount, I'm at 200 or something, but since like
a year and a half, basically. Yeah, I want to emphasize. Yeah, you've played over 1,000 hours of this game, but you've only spent like €200-ish, something like that.
Yeah, I would think. I didn't.
No.
Heard of it, but I think if I would have to guess, it's probably around 200. Yeah.
And you didn't need to. These were for things you were buying season passes, and like you get because you wanted Momo's cloaks that season and stuff.
We didn't mention that Momo also gets outfits. Like most of the time, they fit to Nikki's banner outfit, or you get like the season pass always has an exclusive Momo outfit that you're getting, and that's most of the time my decision maker. You say it like that?
Sure.
Where I'm like, if I like that Momo cloak, oh yeah, sure, I get the season pass. And the season pass is like either 10, then you get a little less stuff, or you spend 20, and then you get the whole package. And yeah, I guess with everything you have to like decide for yourself if that's what you want to spend. But then again, there's people that buy like $50 or $60 games every few months or whatever. To me, that's kind of like the same thing. Or people that are playing MMOs. I guess it's not that big of a thing anymore. Or have subscriptions in games. That's the same thing, you know.
Well, and again, I want to not get too lost in the weeds. I just really want to emphasize that the main thing that I found predatory about what they were doing at the very start of this, they don't even do anymore. Like they've excised it basically entirely. Again, they give you any opportunity you want to spend money. They haven't gotten rid of that. I just mean that like they don't charge you $60 for a single dress. Basically, you know, that's not even an option anymore.
If you think about like Disney Dreamlight Valley or Palia, I don't know exactly the prices in Palia, like that MMO housing game. But yeah, Disney Dreamlight Valley has way more insane prices, for example. But yeah, the reason why I'm saying all this is just that, I was skeptical of all that, but then I saw, no, I think this is fine. And also I liked the game so much. And the world so much, and the writing is very good. It's just very cute and very emotional, and Infinity Nikki means a lot to me at this point. It's one of my favorite games. Just anyone that is interested in, like we said before, just playing the story, like you don't have to spend money at all. If you're interested in open world exploring and having nice conversations with your little Momo pal, it's amazing. It's a very good game. The quality is very high, higher than a lot of other games.
Yeah, I agree. It's a beautiful game, and I hope we've really been able to convey that both in how highly we're speaking of it, but also. You heard a bunch of the soundtrack, and again, that is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the amount of music in the game, and it is all of that quality and whatnot. But yeah, I really just wanted to emphasize that don't let the free-to-play gotcha element of it turn you off inherently. Now, if you're someone that has control issues with spending and stuff, maybe stay away, period, from any of these games, regardless. But I think you would be missing out on Infinity Nikki if you're just dismissing it because of that free-to-play gotcha element. But otherwise, dear, was there anything else you wanted to shout out?
No, I think I'm done.
And if you want to send us free diamonds or a hat, you hit us up at bitharmonypod@gmail.com.
Or a Momo cushion or something.
Oh, man, a Momo cushion. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. Speaking of that, let me do some shout-outs real quick. Again, we're not doing YouTube comments. There just weren't any deranged enough stories in the comments this time, and we had no voicemails. But if you would like to get in contact with us, you can do so by calling or text. You can do that by emailing bitharmonypod@gmail.com. You can also dial in voicemails to 216-230-8540. That number again is 216-230-8540. Worth noting, if you're dialing that number in, you should keep that under 3 minutes because you will just be cut off at some point. But yeah, send those voicemails in. We play them on the show. We respond to them. We do all kinds of stuff with the voicemails. It's a very fun way for Seth and I to reach out and communicate with people and be communicated with. Have it go in reverse, you know. Otherwise, you should also join our Patreon. Links to that are always in the show notes. Also, I'm not going to read off a URL to you. What is this, 1997? And if you join the Patreon, you will join the likes of these fine people here. At the Triforce tier, we've got Adam Caparello, Bauza, Quagmire, Dan and Luma, Daniel Hinojosa, SAZ, John Cummins, Josh Vaughn, Ligerwoods 330, and Big Uncle Randy. I don't know why I added the Big Uncle there, but it's just Uncle Randy. That's Seth's actual uncle. I think I've told you that before. Yeah, that's why he's Uncle Randy. It's not some weird dude going around calling himself Uncle Randy.
That's fine.
That'd be fine. And then in the Golden Banana tier, we've got Big Dogs Only, Bill Tucker, Foolish Fuji, Gamer Jason, Hopple, Yon32. That's right. Seth doesn't do the Yon thing on this podcast, but I'm familiar with it. I'm calling you Yon. Liam D, Old Drake, Phelan Ward, Rob Yapel, Shy Guy. Thank you, Shy Guy. Sean Ashton, Sparky, and Steven Keller. Again, those people support us on Patreon. You can too. Please, God, we need the money. Get over to Patreon. It's in the show notes. You can also join Discord. All those people in there. Besides Uncle Randy, I think most of those people are in the Discord.
In the Discord, you're fine.
Dude, remind me after the show. I'll tell you about Uncle Randy. He sounds like one of the coolest people on earth.
Okay.
Yeah, you can join the Discord. That should also be linked in the show notes. And as a reminder, the next full episode of Bit Harmony should be going up. Was that April 19th, I think? Something like that. That is our season finale and our 50th episode going over Final Fantasy X. It occurred to me too late after we'd already announced that we should do UFO 50 as the 50th episode. But we'd already announced. Alas, it was too late. We can't. I'm not changing the plan now. Final Fantasy X. Yeah, join us then for Final Fantasy X. If you have any voicemails, that would be a real good voicemail one. If you want to send in some kind of glazing opportunity for our 50th episode, I will also accept that. I'll accept being glazed at any time. It's fine too. And as a reminder, if you're on Patreon, you will get access to the next mini episode of the show that we have yet to record on more Infinity Nikki, on the 2.0 update and forward, all the music that they've added there. You also get a whole bunch of other mini episodes, including a 2-hour look at the Mario, or 2-hour listen, I guess, at the Mario Kart series. We've got over a dozen minis at this point. You get a whole bunch of content for just $5 a month. What are you doing? Get over there. With all of that said, we got the haikus to get into. Do you want to read your haiku first, or do you want me to go first?
I read mine first.
Okay.
Okay, here goes. A world of beauty, creativity unbound, and Momo's shadow.
Creativity unbound, that's a banger line. That's Kendrick Lamar levels of, like, I'm just coming at you. You're not prepared for this. Well, My haiku is not going to be anywhere near as good as that, but we do have a common through line in both of our haikus. Consummate glazer, belly jiggling ride or die. It's that Momo guy.
That's very good too. What do you mean?
Yeah, my buddy Jim, when you drew fan art of Momo, and Jim saw it, he just goes, "Is that Momo guy?"
Yeah, it was very cute.
So I couldn't help but reference the "Is it that Momo
He's a
guy?"
guy, all right.
Momo's a guy. Yeah, he's got a big old belly. It jiggles as he walks around and everything. Thank you for listening as always. And join us next time for Final Fantasy X. Get on the Patreon if you want to hear more of me and my wife talking Infinity Nikki. And otherwise, your outro this episode is Weightless and Unbound. It's a good one. It's a teaser for the 2.0 mini episode.
Yes.
And join us there for even more. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.